Well, hello and welcome to the fourth paddle leg of the trip. So this is the Echuca, which is here behind me, to Swan Hill leg, and it's going to take me about 7 days, and I think it's about 300 kilometres. So all up, I'm now 820 kilometres into my journey from Kosciuszko and got about 1700 to go. So probably another 7-8 weeks to go. Yeah, had a couple of days here in Echuca, MOAMA, and it was good because I managed to get everything all organised, get all my food. I also had dinner with a guy called Peter Phillips, who has done the river twice. He's a local here and knows a lot about the ecology and all the great secrets about the Murray River, and also gave me a lot of tips about how to handle Lake Alexandrina at the end, which was very helpful. And he bought me dinner too, which was also nice. Alright, well, I am going to hit the water. I don't know if I'm in a very talkative mood today, so I might just sort of crank the music and get on with paddling down to the first campsite.
I spend most of my time viewing what I want from the outside. I comb it over like it's the scene of a crime. The only guilty I find staring back at me in the mirror at night, stuck in place, just waiting for a green light. But I can't lie, wait for someone else to say.
Well, there you go, a day of me not talking to you, which was quite nice, wasn't it? Just listening to that lovely music, which I'm sure I'll add to the video. So I'm here in a place called Emu Bend, and I'm on the Victoria side. This is a big sort of state park area. I had planned to camp across the river in the national park in New South Wales, a place called Banaka. But unfortunately, well, I went across there and looked at the campsite and looked awesome, but I was a bit suspicious that there was no one else there, and it's a long weekend. So I looked online, and actually the national park, that part of the national park, is actually closed because they're clearing dangerous trees. So that was alright. I had the Victorian option and paddled across the river and found this great spot here. And just as I was setting up the camp, a guy came across on a four-wheeler with his dog, and a guy called Kevin, and he actually offered to go and get some water for me, or even a beer, but I was fine in terms of water, and I'm having an alcohol-free night tonight because I've had too many days in the pub over in MOAMA. Alright, well, tomorrow I think I've got about, well, I did 36 k's today, so that means I've got about 40 tomorrow, and staying in a caravan park tomorrow night. So a good day today, and nice to be back on the water. And God, I can tell you, my mood is a lot better now that the whole Victoria lockdown thing has been sorted out. Great, alright, time for dinner.
Arizona garden, stucco in the heat. Let me take you dancing. Let me get you on your feet. Arizona garden with my little cactus flower.
Well, I'm exhausted already, so it's about 8 o'clock, and I've just spent the half an hour extending the mud bridge so that I can actually get into my boat without wading through mud, and yeah, about to set off. I'm very proud of this jetty. I managed to get in here through all that mud without getting my feet dirty.
Every step of the way, right here beside you. prickly pear in a sandy bed. Holding you heals me, but loving you hurts my head. Oh, Arizona gardens in the afternoon. No matter what happens, it's me and you, baby. Nothing but time and music, and a sweet cool drink on her feet. I'll be beside you every step of the way, right here beside you every step of the way, every step of the way.
Today was a very big day. Ended up being about 46 kilometres that took me about 7.5 hours of paddling, but yeah, because I was approaching Torrumbarry Weir, which is where I am now, the flow definitely stopped and the river became very wide, so it was pretty much just 46 k's of actual paddling. So here I am, camped at the holiday park, so the holiday park's all behind me. But I've got a nice little spot here, but I put the tarp up because it's meant to be raining potentially overnight. So the next 2 days are going to be pretty full on. I'm hoping because I've passed the Weir there's going to be a bit more flow, but I've got about 52 k's each day, and if it's anything like today, it's going to be fairly full on. Plus there's a front coming across, so probably going to be raining for a lot of that too, just to make it more enjoyable. So yeah, a lot of paddling, so probably don't expect a huge amount of video in this video because I've just got to get into that groove and keep paddling to get places. Alright, I'm going to go over to the camp kitchen, make some dinner, and then get ready for an early morning because I probably am going to start before sunrise. Can't even get that right. It's raining, so it's about 6:15, and I'm just getting packed up, and I'm going to walk the kayak around to the boat ramp, which is about, I don't know, 500-600 meters, and start my paddle. So it's okay, once I get in the kayak I'm fine in the rain. It's just all this packing up business is a bit of a pain, but I'm under the tarp, so it's not too bad today. 52 k's today, big day. Alright, better get on with it. Lovely out here. So I'm in the middle of the Perricoota, basically on both sides of the river. We're just in the middle of National Park, and I'm about 26 k's of my 52 today, so halfway through it, and it's about, I don't know, 11:30. So just going to grab some lunch sitting here on this nice little beach. It's actually quite nice because it stopped raining. It's been raining sort of on and off, not heavily, but for the last 3 or 4 hours, but it's starting to clear up a bit. There's even a little bit of blue sky up there, which is very nice. So the other day somebody was asking me about how I pack my boat and if there's any sort of logical positioning of anything. So I thought while I'm stretching my back I may as well tell you about it. So pretty much there's the two main compartments. So you've got the back section there, the hatches there hidden under the water bladder and my bag with the wheels. And then I've got the front hatch there. So pretty much in the front I've got all the stuff that I want to easily access like during the day. So things like my food, etc. are all in this sort of section between here and here. And then at this end I've got the tent and I've got my chair, and then I've also got my water purifier up in the nose there. And then at the back I've got all of my clothing in this section down here, and then I've got things like sleeping bag and sleeping mat and all that sort of stuff underneath there. And then up in the end, where I don't need to access stuff very easily, I've got my electronics and stuff that I only ever really get out when I'm somewhere like a caravan park. And then in that little day hatch there, I've just got lots of odds and ends. But the other reason that I work it out that way is because when I need to put the kayak on the trolley and the wheels go on the front there, what I do is I take everything out of the back hatch, put it in a big bag, and stick it on top of the wheels so that all the weight is at the front. So when I'm pushing it, it's like a wheelbarrow, and I'm not actually lifting the weight. I've got all the weight sitting on the wheels. So that's kind of the logic behind it all. Yeah, it does change a little bit, but pretty much that's how I've got it packed. The sun has come out, which is a pleasant surprise. I was expecting it to be rainy this afternoon. I don't know what the weather's going to be doing tonight, but I'm pretty sure it's going to rain overnight. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the sunshine while I can. The only problem with sun is when the sun comes out, then the wind picks up, but it doesn't seem to be too bad so far. Well, that's definitely a first time for me. I just found myself falling asleep while paddling. That last little stretch there was quite long and pretty wide and pretty boring, and yeah, I realised that my eyes were shut and I was still paddling. So I guess it's a bit like driving, you got to concentrate. Fortunately, there was a lot less to hit on this river than there would be on the road. I guess I'm getting to that point of a little bit tired. What have I done? 42 Ks, 7 hours, got another probably hour or so to go. Excellent, I'll try and stay awake. Well, I found a campsite, which was quite nice. I did have to build another mud bridge down here. It wasn't quite as successful as the last one because my, as you can see here, my feet did get a bit muddy, but it works all the same. Might add a little bit more bark to that before I try and get in the morning. But I'll take you up and show you the campsite in a second. So this is the campsite up here. Seems to be on a little peninsula between both sides of the river, so I think the river does a bit of a loop around, because to be honest I haven't looked at the map all day, so I have no idea where I am, in the middle of bush somewhere. But yeah, once again putting that shelter up because it is meant to rain tonight. Yeah, but I'm gonna get a fire going because my wetsuit booties are very wet, and I'm gonna have to dry those off, I think. So based on some questions people have had, I get to talk about something not so sexy, which is foot hygiene. Actually no, people are asking what I wear on my feet when I'm paddling, and what I do wear is, try and get them off, they're all full of water at the moment, these NRS booties. So they're quite heavy duty wetsuit booties, designed for paddling, but they definitely stink. So that's the biggest problem with them, because they're very thick, so they don't breathe much. And once they're wet, like they are today, because I went in the water when I was getting out of the bank, they take a long time to dry, like days. So I like them because they're comfortable, but I'm not a huge fan of them when they're wet. So I'm going to light a fire later on and dry those out. But yeah, my big thing is every day I make sure I look after my feet, because they are potentially the thing that gets very gross as well as can stink, especially in these booties. So I always make sure that they're very dry, and I put a nice pair of socks on and shoes on for the evening, and everything is good, because the last thing you want is gross feet. Oh, my arms are tired, so I had to attach the camera to a tree. Today was very long. Started just before sunrise, and I think I paddled for 8 hours with a 10-minute break for lunch in the middle. 52 kilometers, so it was a long day, but it was a very enjoyable day. But as you saw earlier, it's the first time I've ever fallen asleep paddling. It actually happened a couple of times afterwards, just sort of had that moment where you close your eyes and thinking this is nice, and you just continue paddling with your eyes shut. But yeah, so yeah, very good overall. So I'm just drying my booties out with the fire there. Gonna make some dinner. Tomorrow I've got another 51 k's I think to go down to Barham, and I'm staying the night in the caravan park there, so I might even be able to get a pub meal if anything's open, which will be quite nice. Okie dokes, better go and tend to the fire. It's about 2:30 in the morning and it is pouring with rain. Got a bit of a thunderstorm going through as well. I was sort of predicting it was going to rain tonight, but only 1 to 5 mils, and this has been a lot more than that. Can't wait to get in that mud tomorrow morning. Hopefully the boat's not too bogged. Good morning. Well, it rained a lot last night. Started about 1 a.m. and pretty much rained until about, I don't know, 5:30. But lovely, just as I got up it was clear and the stars came out. And the other thing that's also happened is, it's a bit hard to see there, but the river has risen a little bit, so the back of my boat was not so much in the water last night, which is great because it means my mud bridge is actually going to reach the water, because I thought I was have to rebuild that this morning in the rain. So it's all worked out well timing wise. Alright, so 52 k's to go today down to Barham. It was really windy overnight, so I'm glad the wind's dropped as well. I'm sure it's going to pick up later, but at least it's not going to be raining for this morning. Alright, I've got to go and deal with all that mud, because that's the other thing the rain has done, has made it even more muddier.
Next Sunday, people running off to work. No one sees how much you hurt. It doesn't matter anyway. Picked up a coffee down the street, the place we always used to meet. It's getting cold here.
I think this is officially my favourite part of the trip so far. Just sitting here, barefooted on the beach, eating cheese, just enjoying the sunshine and having not seen a human for a day and a half, and just enjoying being on my own. This is absolutely exactly what I was hoping would happen on this trip.
I will fix this broken heart. Maybe I won't be sad. I'll be okay. I'll find a way.
That's a bit of a milestone. I just hit the 1,000 kilometre mark. So that's 1,000 kilometres travelled since the top of Mount Kosciuszko. And I'm only about half a kilometre away from Barham, where I'm staying tonight. But yeah, 1,000 kilometres. Woo! I think that means I've already got about 1,600 to go or something. But anyway, got to have these little milestones.
I'll fix this broken heart.
That today was probably the most enjoyable day of paddling I've had on this trip. I don't know why, I think I just had my mojo with me, and it was 50k, so I am pretty tired, but it was just a really nice day. I was expecting it to be all rainy, and then it was just beautiful blue skies, and yeah, very enjoyable. So I'm in Barham now, and I can see I'm camping in a nice spot in the caravan park, but very secluded and just by the edge of the river, so the kayak is parked just down there, down the bank. And as you can see, I am just trying to dry out all the shoes and get all the mud off them from this morning. So that's a bit of today's effort, is just getting everything a bit more dry. So tomorrow I don't even know what I'm doing. I've got 3 days to get down to Swan Hill, so basically I've got 2 more nights camping remotely. I think it's about 37 k's and 41 k's and then 35 k's I think I roughly estimated, so a lot easier than the last 2 days of 50 k's plus. But I think there's some more weather coming through tomorrow night, so I should get some more rain maybe tomorrow afternoon, but we'll see. Alright, I'm going to go and have a cheeky beer, and then I might get some takeaway, and then over there is the camp kitchen where they have set up a nice big fire, so I might actually just settle in there for the night and get some takeaway. Alright, catch you later! Ooh, the motivation is pretty low today. After a good day yesterday, it's kind of hard to get back into the swing of things after doing a lot of paddling, but yeah, ready to go. Managed to get down to the coffee or the bakery and get a coffee and bakery treats this morning, so that is good, and I'm hoping that coffee kicks in a minute. But yeah, everything feels hard this morning. I don't know, I've lost one of my paddle gloves. Luckily it's the left hand one. Hopefully it's in my gear somewhere, so I'm gonna have to wear my wetsuit glove for a while. And if I can't find it in my gear, I'll have to get Kath to post down one of my spare pairs, because I kind of need my gloves. And just everything feels muddy today. I just know I had a huge amount of rain overnight again. It's fortunately stopped, but things are just muddy. Even the shutter on the front of the camera wouldn't open this morning because it seems to have grit in it, so loving that. Alright, I am going to go and get motivated and get paddling and hopefully have another great cracker of a day. So that there is the Little Murray River. So I've just come back down the Murray River. That is the Little Murray River. But that's a pretty cool old bridge up there. I'm going to go and take a look. Well, I think that's my planned campsite up there. There's a big sign there. That's never a good sign when there's a sign, but I'll go and see. Hopefully it doesn't say no camping. Well, this has ended up being quite a good campsite. It's not the prettiest, but it's very practical because I have a boat ramp just here, so I don't have to get muddy or wet, and a good area here to hang out for the afternoon and the evening. I won't camp under these trees because they look a bit threatening, but it's still a good little place to have my shelter because it's raining. I can go and stick my tent right out in the grass out there later on when I can be bothered. And those signs that I was looking at before, we're just talking about fishing limits and hazards in the water. There's nothing about no camping, so it's all good and legit. Today was really short. It was only 38 kilometres and the water was flowing today. I was doing about 10 k's an hour at most points, so it only sort of took me 4 or 5 hours to get down here. But it's good to have a shorter day, and tomorrow I'm going to be doing about 40 and then maybe about 35 the following day down to Swan Hill, so kind of cruising it for the next couple of days, which is quite nice after 3 days of pretty full-on paddling. Alrighty, time to go and chill out. Probably going to read my book. Catch you later. So throughout all my videos I keep mentioning how I don't want to camp underneath the trees, and I thought I should probably explain why. So the trees that are all around me here and pretty much all the way along the river are known as river red gums, and they're a eucalyptus tree and they're renowned for dropping limbs. So you can see here by the fire here, all these sorts of branches just commonly fall out of the trees. And they don't even have to be dead limbs or dead trees to be falling over. So that's the reason why you always avoid putting a tent underneath the river red gums. It's been quite interesting actually. You see all these caravans parked along the edge of the river, old caravans, and they've all got dented roofs. And as you can tell, it's because these things have dropped huge branches on them. So for that reason, that's why I'm camping, can't point, all the way over there, because I do not want to be camping under all these trees here that could potentially drop branches and everything on me. So anyway, that's the river red gum. Oh, I should probably also tell you why they're called red gums, because even though they're white on the outside, if you have a look here, you can see that's what they look like inside. So quite red. Actually, if you come over here, You can see some idiots hacked at this tree with an axe. And you can see it's almost like it's bleeding because all the red has been exposed on the inside. So they're very pretty trees, but yeah, they fall on you. One of the things that people have been asking me about is what I'm eating. I actually haven't really addressed my food, so I thought I might share with you in my videos some of the meals I'm having. So tonight's a fairly simple one. A creamy chicken, pesto and spring onion. So basically easy to do. You just boil it in some UHT milk and some water and add some Parmesan cheese, and that's pretty much dinner tonight. I tend to do those sorts of things when I'm a few days in, but when I'm closer to towns and I've been able to buy fresh food, I try and do something a little bit fresher. So I'll make sure I share some of my recipes with you later on. Doesn't look like much, but once you add a crap load of Parmesan cheese, it tastes great.
You ever wonder if days like these last?
Well, as you can see, it's a little foggy this morning. It rained a bit overnight, but then it's just really just this sort of horizontal mist that's getting everything a little damp. But it's nice. It's a nice temperature, very peaceful, and 42 kilometres to do today to a campsite somewhere in the bush, and then another, I don't know, 30 k's down to Swan Hill the next day. Alright, paddling into the mist. There is a perfect example of a Murray River red gum branch that would just snap off for no reason. So quite a healthy looking branch, but the tree is just snapped in half. So they're the sorts you don't want to be camping underneath.
You ever wonder if we know what's best for one another?
It's taken me a while, but today I think I'm sick of mud. I just got to my campsite here, and it wasn't so much the mud was deep here, but it's like sticky clay. It took me about 20 minutes to get it all off my feet. To show you a bit of an example of how sticky it is, if you look at my booties here, it's all just mud. So everything's muddy today. 45 k's, a bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but it was good. I'm in a decent campsite here. You can see got a fair bit of space here. I've just managed to scrounge a whole lot of firewood, which is good, and I'm just drying out all the stuff from last night. But yeah, I think I've only got about 28 k's to do tomorrow down to Swan Hill, and then a day off, so looking forward to that. Yeah, today was nice. Sun came out, that was good, and it's all about all I've got to say, because I don't know, it's just one of those days.
And hope we know when it's better to say goodbye.
Morning. I think this week has just caught up with me. Man, I'm tired. Everything just feels hard today. All my batteries keep running out of power, and the idea of getting all that gear down there is just, it's killing me. I think I'm just sort of at that point where I know I'm having a break, so everything's just shutting down. Yeah, I've only got about 4 hours paddle this morning, and that's kind of a short day. It's funny thinking now that a 4 to 5 hour paddle is a short day, where that would have sounded like a long day to me a couple of months ago. But yeah, anyway, I've got the motivation of shops and pubs and bakeries and showers and laundries and beds and things like that to motivate me to get down to Swan Hill. So looking forward to it. Alright, I've got to get off my ass and have some breakfast and do this. Hallelujah! The Swan Hill Caravan Park. It looks like they've also got a decent beach down there to get out on. Thank God for that. So tired. Well, that was a really big week. So it's been 7 days since I left Echuca, and I think I've just done just under 300 kilometres. So I'm now in Swan Hill in the caravan park here, and got a coffee, so feeling good. Need to eat a lot more. But yeah, it was a very enjoyable week. It was just a big grind. I think my body in the last 2 days just got so tired. I'm not feeling muscle sore, just exhausted. And probably just because of a lot of paddling, but also probably not eating as much as I normally would. So I'm taking in a lot less calories than I'm burning at the moment. So got to start eating more. I just went and looked in the mirror and I'm definitely seeing ribs that I haven't seen since I was in my 20s, which is probably a good thing, but yeah, just need more energy. So anyway, I'm here for 2 nights. I've got some friends coming up from Ballarat to visit tomorrow. So today is all about getting the gear dry. As you can see, it's all strewed everywhere. And I'll do my laundry. And then tomorrow I'm going to be doing a lot of cleaning out of mud from the boat and things like that. So not so pleasant, but going to be much more pleasant afterwards. Alright, well I better go and do the laundry and go and start feeding myself and start putting on some weight.